What's going on, brother?
Welcome, dude.
Thank you, man. Thank you for having me.
Dude, this is a long time in the making. Even if we just recently talked about it, I heard about I heard about you a long time ago. Like,
Oh, really?
yeah, like probably 2 years ago, somebody on the podcast that I had on here was talking about your work and that kind of stuff, like what good work you did. And I was like, dude, I gotta have him on. And it's been a blur, so I forgot to reach out to you.
No worries at all, man. No worries. I know how hectic life can be. Let me see. I'm trying to make it so you guys don't need to see my messy.
Oh, you want to blur the background?
Let's see.
Click on the up arrow on the video down at the bottom left.
Bottom
And then you'll have
left.
some options there for blur
Oh, boom.
background.
There you go. There.
There you go.
Good enough. Whatever.
Yeah, dude. Good. My background looks like crap right now. I still haven't finished my office. Like I've been doing housework or
Yeah,
remodeling.
I was creeping on your Instagram, and did
Yeah.
you do all this stuff yourself?
Yeah.
That's pretty legit, man.
Yeah.
Pretty
Thank you.
handy.
I appreciate it. I flipped houses for a couple years and learned a lot, and then
Okay.
so my boys some of my boys helped
Mm-hmm.
and some friends helped. So they helped with all the demo. And then, because
The
there's,
fun part.
yeah, dude, it's like there's a lot of trash to get rid of. And it's an important part of demo is getting rid of all that crap because when you go in to do, anything, like if you're tripping over boards with nails in them, that you've pried out of somewhere, it's not good. Okay. Like you need somebody to clear all that shit out of there.
No, no, I get it, man.
So anyway, yeah, man, why don't you well, let me do a quick intro on the spot or shout out to the sponsors and then we'll get started with your intro. Like you can introduce yourself and then go into how you got started and where you're at now, man, because I feel like I was looking at your website, you've got a and I want to share all that stuff too.
Yeah,
Okay?
yeah,
Share the
definitely.
screen on all this stuff. Shout out to the sponsor of this podcast, Skirmish. Go to skirmish.net to find out more and check out it. It is, in my opinion, the best. Uh, it's the hands down to me from what I've known about all the other ones that from different events and stuff like that. It's the best data tracking or stat tracking system you can have for airsoft events.
I can
It
second
goes
that. We just got it at our field.
nice. Yeah. Brandon and I were just talking and I said, hey, I'm doing a podcast with Take One tonight. And he was like, dude, they just picked one up, the system up. I was like, yep, that's
Yeah.
awesome, dude. I'm going to talk to him about it. So, yeah, I've been talking about this since I found out about it from call sign Honey Badger. He's out of the DFW area of Texas, and he was on the podcast two or three times. And the second time he was on, he had just gone to what's the big event they have at oh, it's up in Rhode Island.
Oh, EA Fest?
Yep. Yep,
Yep.
he had just gone to EFS. This a couple years ago, and he's like, "Yeah, they were using this cool system where you tap your bracelet on these boxes, and it tracks this and that." And I was like, "Oh, what now?" So I found out about it. He was telling me about it, and I reached out to Brandon, and I've been talking about it ever since because once Brandon and I talked, and he showed me all the different things that it could do. Um, and we went through that's actually on my podcast. Anyone that's watching or listening, if you're not familiar with this and you want to check out details on how skirmish works, go to the podcast I did with him. It's episode 157. So if you just search that on my channel or scroll through whatever, um, all the numbers are in order. Then you skip through. You can go through that podcast. Like halfway through, I share the screen and he shows all these different ways that you can use the boxes and tap and all that kind of stuff. So this bracelet here is the one that you buy and you keep for yourself. It has a serial number on the back that you log in and you register this particular band to yourself, to your profile. And then this goes with you anywhere. I think this is the biggest thing, one of the biggest things that separates it from all the other coordinators that do their own kind of system for their events, which are really cool. I mean, they have some cool setups and stuff, but it doesn't do this because this will go with you everywhere. If any event or any field that has skirmish boxes set up and the skirmish system set up, you can track all your stats from event to event. Okay, so and there's a leaderboard for it. So if I went to, so right now, as an example, one of the guys in Wisconsin, 6mm Mandalorian, puts on an event, pretty big event every year. It's called Battle Galactica, or shit, I can't remember what it's called. Galactic War or something like that. And Galactic Civil War. Okay. And so they use this system. And then Balahack just used it on one of their big events over the summer. And so if I went to each of those events, two different, events in two different states, I will be able to track my stats, and I could show off to my friends or whatever. Like, hey, I went here, look what I did, this kind of thing. So, and you gain points for that through the Skirmish system. So anyone wants to find out more, go to skirmish.net and find out more, or go to my podcast with Brandon. It's number 157. Also, shout out to the other sponsor of this episode is JACKAL Tactical. They're a store and field up in PA. Go to jacktac.com to find out more. So awesome, man. Welcome, dude. Give a background on yourself, and then we'll get into your store and all the stuff you're doing too. You got a lot of stuff going on.
Oh man, don't get me started. But so my name's JT. I am the owner of Take One Airsoft. We've been in business as a business for next month will be 3 years. That was when I launched the website. But prior to that, so I got into Airsoft, my 10th birthday party. So for context, I'm 27 now. My 10th birthday party was at a local airsoft field years ago. They're long gone now, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But so that was my first forte into airsoft, and immediately fell in love with it. That Christmas that year, I got a Echo One G36, and
oh, nice.
Yeah, so I've been in and out of airsoft for a while. I played at that field until they closed. I think I was maybe 15 when they closed, and I really didn't get back into it until I was maybe 19 when actually the field that I just purchased was my reintroduction into airsoft. I think I want to say it was 19, maybe 20. So yeah, so then my reintroduction to airsoft was in 2018 when I was in college. And then me and a group of buddies, we would go every weekend. And one day we were hanging out at one of my buddies' houses, and my best friend, he's still my best friend. We were just kicking back, and we were like, man, why don't we, put together an Instagram and a YouTube and try to put some content out there, because we go all the time. And so that's when we made Take One Airsoft, which was initially like a team, not like a speed soft team, but just like a group of guys that would go and play every weekend together.
Right.
And so that was the Instagram blew up. It went haywire when we first started it.
Yeah.
And we got a ton of views, a bunch of followers, and it was really exciting. But then I went and studied abroad while I was in college.
Oh, where'd you go?
Berlin. So
okay.
I have dual citizenship. I'm actually a dual citizen with Germany.
Oh shit.
So
how did that you got the dual citizenship when you went to study over there?
No. So my mom's side is originally from Berlin. Like my mom immigrated here.
Oh, okay.
Years ago. I was born in the States, but when I was born, my mom was over here on like a work visa. So by German law, I got dual citizenship.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so it's wherever they don't like Americans, they like Germans. So I'll play whatever. I'll play whatever card is the most useful at the time.
For sure. So what does that mean when I've never traveled outside of the country? outside of the military. So I don't know about like passport stuff. So if
Right.
you have dual citizenship, do you have to have a passport to go to Germany, or how does that like
So,
what
I
does it do
have two
for you?
passports, I have American and German.
Okay.
When I go into the EU, I always just whip out my German passport.
Yeah.
It's super easy. I mean, it's a breeze getting through customs and everything. But coming back into the US, I always use my American passport.
Right.
It it can throw up red flags if you're trying to come into the country under another passport.
Hmm.
If you have an American passport, it's kind of like, well, why don't you want for us to know that you're back, kind of thing.
Yeah. Right.
So yeah, but if I'm traveling not within the EU, I typically just use my American passport. So they're both pretty much just as strong. So if there's a certain country that I'm going to that requires a visa if you're American, but not if you're German, then I'll present my German passport. So
Okay.
but yeah, so I was studying abroad in Germany for several months, and while I was over there, some of the guys kind of weren't as involved, and then
Hmm.
the Instagram kind of took a dive. Nobody was really playing anymore in the group. Then I got home from study abroad, and I was broke as a joke. I was already broke college kid going over there, but
Yeah.
every dime that I had was spent on booze and food. Um,
How dare you drink in Germany?
right, right. So that was in 2019, right? Yeah, right before the pandemic was when I
Oh,
was over
okay.
there.
Yeah.
And so when I came back, I was back on campus away from my local airsoft field. So I didn't play for probably about a year. And so then when I graduated college in 2020, I got a full time job, had a little bit of extra money in my pocket and a little bit of time. And I was like, man, you know what? This had so much potential. I'd always wanted to be an entrepreneur.
Okay.
So I was like, you know what? Let me see if I can turn this into a business. And I loved high kappas. That was my big thing. I took out a small business loan and invested in myself. Started a website and purchased some inventory. And that's kind of where the website started. And then for the first probably 6 months, it was rough. So, out of all the money that I had spent on inventory, 70% of the money that I had spent on inventory, I was waiting for 6 months to receive the product. I was kind of misled by a pre-order. Um,
Oh, wow.
yeah, so that was
Holy cow.
yeah that was really rough. So the only products that I had were from Cow for almost 6 months.
So
Uh,
when you ordered this stuff, did you already kind of have it listed on your website or like a pre-order type of thing or something, or did you
so
hadn't posted it yet?
so down the road after So initially, I did have it up for pre-order because I was promised, oh, it'll be here in, 2 weeks.
Yeah, I was gonna say 2 to 3 weeks is probably fair. Yeah.
Right. But then 2 weeks turned into 2 months, 2 months turned into four.
Holy cow.
And
So
then
did
at
you
that
go in there
point,
and turn it off? Like
yeah,
just
because
disable it on your website?
I didn't feel comfortable taking money from customers and not having a reliable
Well,
ship out.
especially if you can't tell them, hey, it's going to be 4 months, okay, but I promise I'll get it to you, blah, 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 whatever. But
Exactly. And I'm a brand new business at this point,
yeah,
right?
exactly.
So it was also a really bad look for me.
Yeah, it
And
only takes about 10, maybe five bad reviews on whatever, Google or anywhere,
yeah,
where
exactly.
people can see it and you're like, oh shit, okay.
Exactly. And so that was really stressful. And so for context, I'd started the business out of my mom's basement. I was still living at home because I was fresh out of college.
Yeah.
And then, that happened, but finally the products came.
Mm.
Finally. And, they sold pretty well. And, So September was when I started the business. I think February was when the products actually arrived. And between September and February, I'd been working as well. So every paycheck, I would take a little bit out and put it into the business and save up a little bit of money to buy, like AIP, I think was the next brand that I brought on.
Okay.
But all these companies have minimum order requirements.
Right.
And so back then, now it's normal, right? Since I've been in business for so long. But back then, oh my God, it was terrifying. It was really intimidating. I'm like, oh my God, this is a whole freaking paycheck on high kappa parts. Are you kidding me?
Right. Yeah.
So it was
and
really,
there's no guarantee it's going to sell.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So it was, it was, and I remember when I told my girlfriend, I was like, yeah, I invested this much money into Airsoft, and she was like, Air what? So,
oh no.
yeah. So it was pretty freaky at first, but then over time, and I think a big thing that a big reason why I'm able to gain people or earn people's business is because I'm really personable. I always make sure that even if the customer didn't have a great experience, that they, let's say I screwed up and I overlooked their order and it shipped out later than it should have.
Yeah.
I always make sure to make it right with the customer. To me, I look at it through the lens of, okay, how would I feel if I had made that purchase from a business?
Right.
So, and I think that that's one thing that I do, not to toot my own horn, but that is one thing that I think really separates customer experiences with us versus other places, is that I always make sure that the customer walks away from whatever engagement it is happy.
That's important.
Or at least I do my best. I do everything that I can.
Oh yeah, on your end. I mean,
Yeah.
no one's ever going to, not everyone. You can't be 100%. Like,
Exactly.
There's always going to be somebody that's going to be unhappy with some kind of
Yeah.
thing. But yeah, you can try, and that's really the good thing about small businesses. Small businesses are great because they really do care about their community. Their buyers, their all their customers, and man, it's important, because big business, we all see it, and we're used to it now because it's been going on for quite a few years. But the big box stores, the big businesses, if you have an issue, it's super hard to get a hold of anyone. It's very hard to get anything rectified. I mean, Amazon is probably the best good example of returns. Like they streamlined the process. But most places, man, it's you're either waiting in line, or you're waiting on hold, or you can't get a hold of somebody, or it redirects you. I mean, God forbid you buy something on TikTok Shop or whatever and have to and it breaks, or Temu. Okay, forget it. So
yeah, exactly.
You're just out the money, bro.
At that point.
So yeah, these small businesses like you're doing, like you got, you almost have a personal relationship with each customer. You're easy to get a hold of. You want to be available with them, or to them when they buy something, or if they have a question or whatever. So when you built the website, how did you get the word out? What did you start doing to get people, kind of get traffic or whatever?
So I went out and I played. I played Airsoft every weekend. I went to any and every event under the sun that I could. So big shout out to CSL Airsoft. He's I'm not sure if you're familiar with them.
Yeah, Keegan.
Yep, Keegan, exactly.
I had him on the podcast. I love talking to that dude. Yeah.
So Keegan and I are like this. We're
okay.
We talk all the time, and we live right by each other. We're probably about, I don't know, maybe 40 minutes away from each other. And I saw what he was doing. He saw what I was doing, and he would allow me to come and vend at his CSL events, because at that time, like Valhalla Airsoft was still around in Virginia. And they had a really nice speed field, but they didn't have any pro shop. So, and back then, I mean, this was when Speedsoft was on the up and up.
Okay.
And we would have 16 teams there with nothing for them
Whoa.
to buy, right? And so Keegan would invite me out, and I would show up with this little fold-out table, and I would set up my slides, my trinkets, whatever I had at the time. And that was really how I started to be able to engage with guys that I wouldn't have had the opportunity to at my local field.
Right.
And then, just social media stuff and posting up on Instagram and everything. Marketing for Airsoft is really challenging. Like Facebook, good luck. No way. Google, absolutely not. So you got to kind of get creative.
You know what I love is it's so funny how, so Facebook and Instagram, right? Same kind of thing. And when I post something on Instagram, it'll come up and say, boost your post. And it's been saying that forever, right?
Yep.
But they canceled, I don't know what you call it, but they deactivated my account for, I don't have the ability to boost it. Okay.
Yep.
They took that ability away because they said I violate their terms of service.
Mm-hmm.
So I could still post. The thing that bothers me is it keeps coming up and telling me boost your posts, and I don't click on it anymore. It's been a long time, but I used to try it every once in a while just to see like if it changed or something happened. And I would click on it and it says, oh, you're not allowed to. I'm like, I swear this is like a game. Okay. It's like a game. It's like this, come on. You could, come up here and get it, get the dollar. It's like,
you almost had it.
You almost got it.
Yeah, exactly. So
they pull it away.
The captions, like you got to dance around certain words. You can't say for sale or stuff like that. I've even like certain pictures, like if let's say I get a shipment of high kappas in or something, on that Instagram post, on the actual photo, I don't post up just the high kappa. I'll have to add some background colors and stuff to make sure that whatever AI or algorithm that they use doesn't pick up on the shape of the high kappa.
Yeah.
Hopefully they're not watching this, but
your secret's out, dude.
right. But so
that is challenging. So have you thought about going to X for that kind of stuff?
Yeah, but I mean with my, granted, I'm probably not the most knowledgeable about the airsoft community on X, but
it's not very big.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was going to say. So
I'm trying to get people to like almost every podcast I mention, come on guys, let's go over to X, please. Come on.
Yeah, right. So we have a Discord that is a ghost town now at this point. I'm just Discord dumb. So luckily, one of the managers at the arena is really savvy with Discord. So we're in the process of getting him set up to moderate and kind of run our Discord. But yeah, so marketing, when I first started was mainly just word of mouth, I guess, and making sure that every customer had a good experience, because every customer that would get an order in and then post it up on their story, that's that many more people that go, oh wow, this guy had a good experience. Let me go check out what Take One Airsoft has to offer. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of how it started, and like month over month, we began to grow and grow and grow. This was I didn't move out of my family's house until, I started in September of 21. I guess I moved out of my family's house in September of 22. Around then. I was a little over a year out of college.
What'd you study in college?
Global studies, actually.
What is that? Like, what does that involve?
Relations.
What is it?
Like international relations.
Oh, okay.
Yep. So I went to college to play football. That was
really.
If it wasn't for football, I probably wouldn't have gone.
What'd you play? All my boys play. We're big football fans in this house. So
Yep, yep,
all three of my boys play football. I played football since I was in fourth grade, so
yep.
yeah. So what position did you play, and did you start young?
Yeah, so I
PB
started at,
league or something?
yeah, I was an ankle biter. I was 5 years old, and I played D end pretty much my entire football career. I mean, not to be that old guy.
That's a good position, man. I was a defensive guy as well. I was inside linebacker.
Yep, yep.
Okay.
So not to be that old uncle at a barbecue that tells you about heyday, but I was a really good athlete. I was my senior year of high school. I think I was second or third in the state for sacks. So
Damn, son.
yeah, pass rushing was my forte. That
You were
was
quick.
yeah.
Quick on
Oh
your
yeah.
feet. So
Yep.
what
I'm
what
not.
were your stats when you're in so going through high school, maybe your senior year, junior, senior year? What are you benching? What are you squatting? How much you weigh and how tall are you?
So bench, my max I want in high school, I want to say was 315, and then squat was right around 420.
Yeah. Solid.
Um, and but my burst off the line was incredible, and I'm 6'2.5" ish
Oh shit, yeah.
on a good
Nice.
day.
That's
So, but
great
I mean,
for defensive end because they want those long arms up there to block those
yeah,
passes and yep.
exactly. But I mean, I was small by collegiate.
Well, college, yeah. For high
Yeah,
school, you're big, and then you
yeah,
go college is like, dude, okay, yeah.
exactly. So yeah, so and I think I was when I graduated high school, I was weighing like just over 200, which wasn't very heavy
Oh
either.
no,
But
yeah.
I
Well, that's probably what made you quick, though.
yeah, exactly, and I was really lean.
Yeah. So
Not
my
so.
boys, my two of my boys were offensive linemen. One was a
Uh,
guard, one was a tackle,
yeah.
and they were both. Well, one was 6 foot and 280. The other one was 6'1" and like almost 300. And they were
Okay.
doing like they're about the same, about 300, a little over 300, 325, something like that for bench, around 400, over 400
Hmm.
for squat. And one of my boys was really quick off the line, like
Hmm.
had good reflexes and stuff. And that's why he was a guard. He was the pulling guard.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then the other one was he was just like a tank. He didn't move fast on his feet, but he was really hard to move. Like they're just solid as hell.
Yeah.
And then my younger son, he played a middle linebacker like I did. So
Okay.
yeah,
Okay. Yeah. No, those were good. Those were a really good time back in the day.
yeah, dude.
But
Football's great, man. It's one of the few sports where you get to gear up and look
yeah,
fucking badass on the
yeah,
field.
yeah,
Okay. Like the
definitely.
uniform looks fucking awesome. I don't care if the offensive linemen are, they got a big beer gut looking, gut,
Yeah,
whatever. Like, but man, you put those pads on and put that uniform on. I mean, they look like monsters.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
great.
No, and the camaraderie is
Oh,
is
yeah.
is and that was actually kind of my big draw into the speed soft scene. Not that I ever really got into it, like I never played on a team or anything, but there was some resemblance of that team camaraderie,
Yep.
the trips to go
Mm.
and play. Like it brought back memories of us, jumping on a flight to go, across the country to go play a game, and
Mm.
we're sleeping on air mattresses, and we're all griping about bad calls after the game, or
Of
whatever the case
course.
may be. So there was a lot of resemblance of football and speed soft, not on the field but off of it,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
And that I think the camaraderie is a big reason of why a lot of guys do it. Like
For
6
sure.
a.m. workouts suck; they're
Dude,
not fun.
they suck.
But when you're done, you get to talk with your boys, get breakfast, and hang
Yeah.
out for a little bit. I mean that, yeah. So
Yeah, it's
yeah,
great, man. You got to to build a really strong team, you've got to go through some difficult shit together. Like whether
yeah,
it's 6 a.m. workouts, or your coach is pissed off that day and he's, somebody messes up and you're running laps, okay, with all your gear on or your shoulder pads, whatever. It's like, you got to go through some shit to build that, like bleed together.
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
I think, and I think that, you can tell on a Speedsoft team immediately who's been an athlete and who hasn't. Not by how they play, but by how they conduct themselves after the game. I mean, it's like, dude, you've never lost anything in your life, and it shows.
Yeah. That's sad, right? Yeah.
Yeah. It's like sometimes you work really hard and it doesn't work out, man.
That's right.
It doesn't.
We worked really hard on my team in my high school. We worked really hard, and we sucked. Like our senior year. So I played through high school, whatever, but our junior year we were okay. Like 50%, right? We won 5 and lost 5 or whatever it was. And then our senior year, I don't know. Well, I know what happened, but one of a couple of our guys got in a car wreck. 2 of them died, and one of them was our quarterback. Okay, and his dad was the coach. So that happened the end of our junior. It happened our junior year after the season. So going into our senior year, we didn't think that the guy was going to be our coach again because his son died. Yeah. And he's still going through it. And so, but he wanted to coach again, and they let him. And he was not ready, man. Like coaching us as a team, and his son not being there, and how it happened. It was very traumatic thing. Yeah. So it was. So we did not do well. He wasn't well, and he would have, freak out moments pretty much on the field for practice, and kind of go overboard. And some of his coaches would grab him and take him off. Like he would start grabbing players by the helmet, by the face mask, and throw them around, kind of thing. He was a big dude, the coach, but nothing terrible that that hurt anybody. But it was this really bad vibe because we really felt bad for him. Like we were all hurting, So 4 of our guys, 2 of them got killed, 2 of them were in wheelchairs. And so we lost 4 of our players that were pretty significant to the team. So, and we were all sad, you know? Yeah. So our senior year, we just, we went out there to play to kind of like commemorate those guys, but we really didn't have it in us, man, to kind of go win, It just wasn't there. So,
I bet. Jeez, that's traumatic, man.
I know, right? But honestly, we ended the season on a good note. Like we had this big party with the whole team and the 2 guys in wheelchairs, and we gave this big thing, kind of like a memorial almost, to the 2 guys that we lost.
Yeah.
So it ended up kind of being kind of good, So
wow.
Our last season we won 2. And I think the 2 that we won, man, I think the other teams must have just been like having an off day because we sucked. Like we just did. We were getting fights on the field. We all were kind of like just going through all this grieving, I guess,
Yeah.
So,
no, I've been on a couple teams like that as well. not minus the trauma, but with the sucking there, definitely.
Uh-huh.
But
so you went. So where'd you go to college first to play?
So it was a smaller school. It's called Bridgewater College. It's in Virginia.
Is that where you're at, Virginia?
Yep. So now I'm in Arlington, Virginia. I live right beside the Pentagon. I mean, I can walk there.
Damn.
So and so actually where I'm sitting right now. So after, I guess, back on Airsoft, take one, kind of how it grew and progressed. After I moved out to here with my girlfriend. She works in DC.
Okay.
And so we got a 1-bedroom apartment up here in Arlington. And when I moved out, Take One went from this little tiny, I still have it over there, just one of those like, clear kind of shoe bins with a couple drawers in it. Yep. One of those. That was what I had all my inventory in. And then by the time that we moved, it was like, oh crap, I got like, 3 shelves full of stuff now. And then, when we were at our 1-bedroom apartment, that's really when things started becoming pretty consistent and growing month over month, like exponentially.
Yeah.
And then so we had a loft, and the loft in our apartment was, kind of the take one area.
Yeah.
And I outgrew that. I mean, stuff was everywhere. So then I rented a storage unit right by my house. And so every day I would get home from work, and I'm still working full time throughout I still do work full time
Right.
even as well.
Sure.
And so I'd get home, print the packing slips, go to the storage unit, no power there, anything. I had these little LED camping lights that were rechargeable.
Yep.
Would hang them up on the ceiling, turn them on, pick all the orders and pack them, then go home, print the shipping labels, and then go to the post office and drop everything off. So that was that for about 9 months, and then a, about a year ago we got a townhouse, and the room that I'm in right now used to be. I mean, I kid you not, it looked like a freaking warehouse. It was. Oh my God, it was bad. It was bursting at the seams. And we have another room. I'm in the basement right now. We have another room over there that was kind of like the packing room kind of thing, where I had a little bit of overflow inventory over there as well. But and then a month ago, July 1st, I took ownership of the local airsoft arena. So was able to get everything out of here, thank God, and over to the airsoft arena. So that's been, oh my God, that's been so much work. But
oh yeah, dude. But dude, this is like for real, humble beginnings of
yeah,
a really cool story for a small business, growing.
yeah. I mean, and that really all that it is, man, is just hard work and consistency, and
Consistency.
and that's why I still work full time. I mean, I don't want to come across like a cocky or anything, but I have a pretty solid 9 to 5 that I still do, and I wish that I had a crappy job so that it would make the going full time into airsoft an easier decision.
Right.
But that allows me. Full transparency. I have never paid myself in these 3 years. I haven't paid myself once, and that is what the requirement was for me, for Take One to be successful.
Yeah.
It needed that laser focus. I mean, even when I'm at work, in the back of my mind, it's, they're thinking about something airsoft. So, and so
that's what happens when you're an entrepreneur. Once you start creating whatever it is you're creating, once you make that choice, that decision in your head, it doesn't turn off, man. Turning it off means you quit.
Yeah.
And you can't let it go. You're like, nope, I can't do it.
Yep. And
can't quit.
And I have buddies that ask me, oh, like, how do you do it? And blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, man, the hardest part about it is making the leap. Once you do, you need to make it work.
Yes.
So you will. You
That's
do.
Right.
You figure out ways. You get creative.
Yep.
Once your butt is on the line, either you sink or swim. I mean, it's as simple as that. And
it really is. There's a lot of business books, self-help type of books or whatever, these motivational speakers talk about it. Anyone that's built a business, they talk about, it's a very, very common theme. They talk about the mental ping pong, right? Once you throw that out and you actually choose, right? You make that choice, you make that decision. It's definitive. And one of the guys, Bill Phillips, wrote a book called Body for Life. He came up with a workout program, and he actually was the one that started. Him and his brother started a nutrition company, supplement company called EAS,
Mhm.
EAS supplements, and so he calls it your self promise. When you make a self promise, it's one that you make in your head. You might not even write it down, but when you make that decision in your head, you have that thought like, okay, I'm going to get up at 6 a.m. and I'm going to work out, and then I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. Even if you don't write it down or put it in your phone or tell anyone, right? You still hold yourself accountable, because if you don't do it the next day, you feel like shit just a little bit, right?
Yeah.
But it's one of those things, and that mental ping pong, that's really what holds people back. Because once you choose and once you decide this is what I'm doing, all of the other stuff falls into place, because you make it happen. Like, you
Yeah.
fit it in, and you'll have the energy to do it. You might be tired as shit, bro, but
Yep.
you're going to do it anyway. Okay. Because this is
The
what you said to
motivation to not
yourself.
fail. Yeah, the motivation to not fail is failure to me is the biggest. The fear of failing to me
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
the biggest motivator,
Yeah.
right? Like I and not only that too, but we have so I guess for context, the arena that I purchased, like I said, it was the one that I have been going to for years.
Yeah. Did they close it or something?
No, so the arena it hadn't been doing as good as it previously had been.
Gotcha.
And the previous owner, great guy. We talk all the time,
Hmm.
um, but he really wasn't in it as much as he used to be.
Yeah.
And I think everybody with a little bit of foresight kind of saw that it was he, if something didn't happen, it was probably wasn't going to be around much longer.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to see that happen. I mean, this year alone, it seems like every other week there's another field that's closing. It's been a rough year for airsoft, and
It's really weird because airsoft in general, like as far as numbers go across the whole, you know, I guess that genre, whatever it is growing. Like, all the
yeah,
numbers are growing. The numbers are going up. Sales numbers like Evic, Airsoft GI, Fox Airsoft, all these places, and there's fields opening up. And the events that people put on, there's way more people showing up. So something that 3 years ago had 200 people has 400 or
yeah,
500 people. So
yeah,
it's growing in general. But the hearing about these some of these field, like smaller fields or whatever, that have been in
yeah.
business for quite a while are closing. It's a really common thing that I've been hearing too.
Yeah. So, and I really didn't want. I mean, it would have broken my heart seeing the place kind of where I got the inspiration for
Yeah.
my business. Really, I mean, that's kind of where everything started at for me. For Take
Hmm.
One, to see it not exist anymore, I was, so I reached out to the owner, and we had some conversations and everything, and we were able to come to an agreement, and so like I said, I still work full time.
Sure.
So July 1st was when I took over ownership, and not bragging, but the amount of work that the staff and I put in from probably July 1st to middle of July was insane. I mean, my earliest night home was 2:30 in the morning,
Whoa.
and I'm getting up at 6:30, 7 o'clock for work.
Woo, buddy.
And
Okay.
yeah, it was rough, but I mean the amount of changes that we made were astronomical. I mean, we completely repainted the whole. So let me not exaggerate. So 90% of the changes that we did were on the retail side. Luckily, they had just redid the field.
Okay.
So, and it's all indoor. It's all
I was
indoor.
just gonna ask that. It's all indoor.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I got really lucky with that they had just redesigned the field.
Yeah.
so I could, be laser focused on retail, which is what my forte is,
Yeah,
right?
that's
Like,
what Take One started out as, right?
exactly. So, I mean, I turned that, retail side upside down. We completely repainted it. We redesigned it. We put up new slat wall. I mean, we really busted our butt to get it ready. So,
Well, while you're
on
talking about it, I'm going to pull up your YouTube channel because I won't turn the sound on,
yep,
but I want to go. I want you to. You can keep talking about it or whatever, but I want to show this because this is at your retail part. That's
yep.
at your store.
Is it the safety briefing video?
Yeah.
Yep, yep. So we actually just got that one done. Um, and for those of you guys that know about what the arena looked like before, um, they would instantly see the differences between prior, let's say June 30th to July 31st. And so on August 3rd, we were open that in the entire month, but we had
Okay.
our big rebranding event on August 3rd, this past Saturday.
So this
Um,
part right here, this is your slat wall. This is behind the
yep,
counter.
yep,
Okay. So you
exactly.
guys set all this up.
Yep. And so also all the rifles and stuff, I didn't have any of those until July 1st.
I was going to ask you what did you have stocked in your house? Because if you had all these rifles plus all this other stuff plus anything in the counter, bro, yeah, you had to be
Yeah.
out of room.
So I mean, in this frame is maybe 5% of the inventory. So we have a whole
Wow.
yes, we have a whole inventory room in the back of the arena that is bursting at the seams. When I tell you that my house was packed to the
Yeah.
gills, I mean I filled up a whole box truck. Moving everything to the arena, and not a small box truck either. It was a big
Yeah.
boy.
That's
Yeah.
wild.
So I had a lot, and the reason why is because I was so strict on 100% reinvestment.
Right.
Um, that's really where the um,
Well,
growth.
I think the common thing, what is it? Startup businesses, well, maybe not startups, quote unquote startups, but businesses, they'll take at least 5 years, around 5 years before they're before they're out of the red. So, before they're in the black. And that's a very typical kind of thing. Like the idea that don't expect to make a profit or at least a decent one until about 5 years. Like it's one of those things that other entrepreneurs tell business owners or startups, like, hey, just don't quit, okay,
Yeah,
in your first 5 years. Give it
yeah,
5 years
yeah,
because it's going to take that long to get your name out there, to get, repeat business, to get all these things that it's a big ship
yeah,
to start moving and it starts out slow.
yeah. No, so I'm not sure if it's jumpy on your end. Is
Oh, is it?
but
No, it's not actually.
Okay, perfect, cool. As long as it records clear, because I was actually really impressed. So we filmed this August 2nd. So the night before the our big rebranding event, and our rebranding event, it was phenomenal. We had 105 players come out. I'm not sure if you know who Demo is.
Yeah, I
Uh,
do actually. I follow him on Instagram. I reached out to him when I first started the podcast. I was like, dude, I'd love to have you on.
he's honestly he's a really good guy. So
He really is. I mean,
and
based on his well, hold on a second. I want to show this part of the podcast or this part of the video. This is awesome. You guys are showing the let me move this out of the way here. You guys are showing the call your hits thing.
yeah,
I love it because the dude says he starts throwing like one or two BBs at him,
Yep.
And then watch it. If you're not watching this, go watch it because it's really funny. He throws like a whole bucket. He throws a whole bucket at it because the dude ain't calling his hits. It's so funny. Like, dude. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
pretty funny.
It
It's
only
a
takes.
really good video, man, for a safety brief. It really is. It's
Yeah.
simple,
Yeah.
to the point. It's short.
Yep.
And you have visuals to go along with it.
Yep, definitely. So we're actually going to be making some changes to it to incorporate the skirmish system.
Gotcha.
So we got the skirmish system in, I want to say, the Saturday before the event.
Yeah.
And his name's Brandon, I believe.
Yeah, Brandon.
So we had a Zoom meeting on how to go through it and everything, and he did a really good job explaining it. And
Okay.
and I had my managers sit in on the Zoom meeting as well.
Oh, good.
And
like how to scan in all your bracelets. It's really important to do that.
Yeah, and like
Whoever's
set it
playing.
up on the back end and stuff.
Yeah.
But we knew that Saturday was going to be a pretty big turnout. Like, I had my dad was running the grill. We had free burgers and hot dogs. We had
that's awesome.
511 Tactical came out and vended. We had
what? Dude,
yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, we had a ton of really good vendors come out. But I made the decision kind of last minute. I was like, you know what? I feel like we don't know this system well enough yet in order to incorporate it with 100 people showing up.
Gotcha.
So
there was a lot going on. It was your opening. You were like getting ready and all that stuff. And
exactly. So I was like,
gotcha.
You know what? We don't. Not that it's a complicated system to use, but it's just an additional layer that I didn't want to add on the staff mainly.
Yep. Not only that, but if you have the now this bracelet that I've been holding up, everyone knows me holding this one up. This one is the one that is a little more expensive than the basic ones. Like, so if you're running an event, so like yourself, if you have the other bracelets that are the little bit cheaper ones that don't track, like I can't attach to my profile or whatever.
Right.
Those you want to get back at the end of the game. Right. Yeah. They're kind of just borrowing them for the game, and you want to get those back. And to do that, logistically, you got to have a good system in place. Like, don't leave without taking this off and handing it to one of the refs, or somebody out the door.
Exactly.
So I get it. Yeah, that makes sense.
So we wanted to make it simple, as simple as possible. But so we're currently kind of putting together. We actually just sent Brandon over our field map today.
Awesome.
So he's uploading that onto the Skirmish website. And then we're going to be making the changes to the safety video to include kind of just a quick, brief demonstration on how to use it. So I'm really excited for it. But
nice.
Yeah. Anyway, Saturday was amazing. Like I said, Demo had a really good time. We also had RGK, if you know him.
Oh yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
Random guy Kev. I've seen his podcast. I've been following him for a while. Yep.
So he came out as well.
Good,
It exceeded all expectations. I mean, I was a nervous wreck before, honestly.
Did you reach out to like 511? Like, did you reach out to Demo and RGK and all these guys?
So Demo and I, we talk pretty regularly, kind of, offline, just texting each other back and forth. So we've had a pretty, personable relationship now for over a year.
Okay.
And, I kind of told him what was going on last minute, and he was like, you know what, I'm actually available. So we got him out here for that. With 511, so they had reached out to me during their big summer sale event that they had. And they were like, hey, we're reaching out to local businesses to see if they would be interested in coming by and they can set up a booth and kind of display their products.
Mm-hmm.
And 511, I mean, they're a godsend because I can't think of any other store that would be like, yeah, come bring in your airsoft guns. So, they let me set up a little table, and I brought some gas blowback guns so that people could dry fire them in the building and, get a sense of the recoil and stuff. And we've already had a handful of people from that summer sale event come by and try it out. So it was awesome.
Dude, that's cool.
And I told them, I was like, what
a great partner.
Yeah, exactly. So I told them, I was like, we have a rebranding event going on August 3rd. And their store manager, really, really good guy. He's actually getting into airsoft now too. So he came out and set up a booth, and they donated a raffle item, a really nice multi-cam plate carrier,
Oh
which was
shoot, that's
yeah,
awesome.
some younger kid won this phenomenal
A
511 plate.
511, yeah,
Yeah,
plate carrier. What?
yeah. So no, it was really fantastic, and we're actually going to start stocking some of their items as well in store. Nothing crazy, we're not going to be, carrying their pants and boots and stuff, but like mag pouches and a handful of plate
Yeah,
carriers and stuff we're going to start carrying from them. But
dude, that's awesome though, man. Hell yeah.
yeah, so it's been a month, almost a month and a week of having the arena, and it's
Yep.
been terrifying but rewarding.
Yeah, dude.
It's yeah. I
Well,
mean,
all the stuff you've done over the past 3 years was building a foundation. And, anyone that has driven by, anyone that doesn't know how construction works,
yep,
it's related. This is a common, I think a lot of people use this as an example, right? And when they talk about businesses, they talk about building like a house or whatever.
yep,
And you'll see all this kind of work that if you don't know what's going on, if you've never worked in that
yep,
field or never been there
yep,
or been around it, you have no clue. You're like, nothing's happening for months.
yeah.
You're
No,
like, actually, there's a lot going on.
yep.
It takes a,
I do civil construction full time.
oh, there you go. Yep.
So I know, we're always the people that everybody complains about, but they don't realize, hey, if we weren't digging this trench for the past, 2 weeks, you wouldn't have water.
Exactly.
So no,
Yep.
I totally get it.
The footers or your
Yeah,
building will fall over. Okay. Like,
yeah,
so you'll see all this work. You won't see the progress, but
yeah,
somebody is actually working on it.
yeah,
And then all of a sudden, the house goes up in like 3 days. You're
yeah,
like, what the hell? Where
yep,
did that come from? I just drove by here
exactly.
yesterday, and that's what you've been doing the last 3 years with your business. You've been building the foundation. Now some doors are opening up because of your hard work and because you're approachable, you're personable, you reach out to people and you have some contacts. And yeah, man, that's really cool. It's cool to see. I want to share your website too.
Day by day, man. Again, just consistency is everything in any business. It's not, you know just airsoft.
Absolutely. That's one of the hardest things for a lot of people that start a business to do because a lot of people they can go hard or go fast, right? For a short amount of time, like
Yeah,
sprinting.
yep,
Um, but it's not how fast you can go, it's how long can you go fast.
yep,
And that's
exactly.
the hard part.
I will say, and that's another thing too that this business venture has taught me is finding balance. If you, it's, you know, with me working full time, I mean, I really got completely consumed with the working all time,
Yeah.
all the time. I would get home from work and go right back to work, and it caught up to me, man. I mean, um, I had I thought I was having a heart attack,
Yeah.
and and I talked to some specialists, and they were like, "Dude, you got to take a break."
You're like,
Um,
I can't. Okay, I'll
yeah,
figure it out.
yeah, pretty much, pretty much. But
We when I was doing this podcast, so uh when I really decided to make this a real podcast, like, okay, this is going to be a podcast. I'm going to put a lot of effort into it. Like, whatever I do, I put a lot of effort into. And then
mhm,
uh, I really enjoyed it. But there were nights where, so for a year and a half, I was releasing uh, 3 podcasts a week, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Okay.
yeah,
And some of them, the average, they go like 2 hours, let's say. Some of them are like an hour, some of them are 4 hours. Okay.
mhm,
So I'm recording them. Then I have to create a thumbnail. I have to edit it, a little bit. I don't edit content out of the thing, but like tonight, little audio thing or whatever. I'll edit that out, kind of stuff. But
Right.
I don't spend a lot of time editing content out of it. I just cut the ends off or whatever, and put an ending on or the outro or something. But it takes very consistent work. And there were
Yeah.
nights where I would get off because of time zone differences. Who I was talking with,
Mm-hmm.
they might be in California. I'm on the East Coast, so they're 3 hours behind me. So I'm doing a podcast. We won't start until 11. So I
Yeah.
get off at like, I don't know, 1:32 in the morning. I got to get up at 6:30 for work, and so I did this all the time. My wife was like, and I would get, dude, I was so tired, and I was working construction. I was flipping houses.
Yeah.
So I would come home at 5, 6 o'clock and covered in drywall dust
Yeah.
and caulking all smeared everywhere and paint and whatever. Okay, and I would jump in the shower. And I'm like, I got to get ready for this podcast. She's like, what? Why are you just doing like? I
Yeah.
mean, I was exhausted. And there were times I was so tired, I couldn't remember if I made the thumbnail for the thing or not. And I was like, oh shit. So I'd wake up in the middle of the night, like, I don't think I made this thumbnail. I'd get up at like 4. I slept like 2 hours. I'd wake up at 4 and come in here and make sure I made the thumbnail.
Yeah. Yeah.
She's like, why are you doing it? I'm like, just don't worry about it. Okay. I'm on a mission. So
Yeah. No, I totally, unfortunately, that's sometimes really what it takes. But, luckily going through that kind of like having that realization of, oh shit, I kind of got to, I got to step back because now I can see signs and I'm like, all right, when you get home today from work, you need to kick back on the couch for at least an hour
yep.
before you do anything airsoft related. You need to decompress for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it was an awful experience, but it was a really valuable one because
It's
I got
like you want your business to grow, but you kind of don't. Like I do, but I don't. Okay. Like
And it's funny because I remember, when I first started the business, every order was like Christmas. I was like, oh my God, yes, we got another order. And then, there'd be days when I'm like freaking out, super stressed, and I'm like, oh God damn it, we got another order.
the
I
honeymoon
mean,
phase is over, bro. Okay.
right, right. I mean, don't get me wrong. Guys, please still order. I love them all. But,
Of course. I think they would understand. Yeah, for sure. It's a fun process, but it is busy. It's a lot of work.
it is. So, ideally one day, I'll be able to do airsoft full time, but I really want to I'm ambitious.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of things that I want to do to the business still that will require my 100% reinvestment for an indefinite amount of time currently.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm okay with that.
Yeah, that's good too. I mean, that's not a bad thing. It gives you goals, gives you something to
Exactly.
work towards. It keeps you going.
Well, in all honesty, like I have a genuine love for the community. I mean,
Yeah.
90% of my homies are within the community, right? Like I love it. And like on Saturday, we had this kid come in that was this massive demo fan. I mean, he was so gun shy, and
Yeah.
his mom came up and was like, "Hey, like, do you think that you can get Demo to take a picture with him?" And I mean, Demo's the most friendly guy in the world.
Oh yeah. I've seen him on his
But
YouTube videos. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. So, and seeing that kid's reaction, and so it was great because we did a raffle, and Demo brought some unreleased BQB gear and some of his unreleased Demo patches.
Oh, nice.
And that little kid won his entire raffle. So it worked
Oh,
out
that's cool.
beautifully. Yeah, it was awesome. He also won a brand new gun. Yeah, and seeing it, you know, I'd be lying if there weren't nights where I'm like, God damn, like you know,
Uh-huh.
this is rough. But then seeing reactions like that just makes it all worth it.
Yeah.
And having people come to the arena, like, I mean, there was a big chunk of regulars that had quit coming just because, the previous field became stagnant.
Hmm.
It was, it was okay with being okay.
Right.
And now, I came in and I was able to kind of turn it upside down and really bring some new life into it.
Yeah.
And so it's been awesome seeing all these guys that got out of it getting right back into it. They're like, dude, like, we used to love coming here, but then, there was no love being given back. And we see how much effort you put into it. And so, getting reviews like that and people hearing how excited people are to get back into it and start playing again, and the positive feedback really motivates you as well. So
Well, passion is contagious, that
it is.
excitement. Yeah.
It
So
is.
when somebody comes in that's passionate about something, like you gotta, there's a lot of things in history and in business books and, advice, right? That even in the Bible, right? God says, he doesn't like lukewarm. Okay. He'll spit you out. Like
Yep.
be the salt of the earth kind of thing. Be
Mhm.
passionate about something, be excited about something. That's what, that part is contagious.
Yep.
The mediocre, I'm okay with just kind of blah. When something like that, the business or that field, and no shade to the guy that was running it.
Yeah.
People do get
Definitely.
burned out, man. If they run something for a long time, like I've worked with guys that had their own concrete business and they've been working it with their own hands from the time they were 20 and they're like 65, and they're just
Yeah.
worn out, bro. Like
Yep.
the excitement is a little gone for them. So
Yeah. Definitely.
it's time to pass it on. It's sometimes a natural progression of things. Like you really need to move on to something else or be expanding to something you're excited about, even if it's a lot of work, because doing the mundane, once you get used to doing the work of the work, the work of the job or the whatever, it's like you got to have something new to do, because you never want to be in that stagnant place, man. Just kills vibes, like, dude,
It
come on,
does.
let's
It
go. And
does.
I hate being bored, so I always find something to be, excited about.
Yeah.
So I don't like being in a rut. I've been there before when our
Yep.
kids were little, and as far as the work, I mean, I was working a lot of overtime and stuff. It got really monotonous. Now, when I went home, what makes it better is my wife and I have 5 children. They were all close together in age. So they're all toddlers together pretty much. And so when I would come home, they're like, Daddy, it's like it breaks that monotony. Like you never know what a toddler's going to do, you know?
Yeah.
They're in there. I walk in, early in the morning, and my 3-year-old is gotten in the fridge and got the eggs out, and he's breaking eggs on the kitchen floor. Okay. Like what the hell, dude? What are you doing?
Right.
So
Right.
there's never a dull moment. But yeah, to get in a rut of life with whatever it is you're doing really sucks. And so
That's,
people, that passion you brought to the new store, people can feel that, and they catch it from you. That's good, man.
yeah.
That's awesome. So
Yeah.
so did you built the website yourself? Is this the original, like how it looked when you first started, or have you changed
Yeah.
over the years?
It's pretty close. I mean, the layout is pretty similar. We've made some changes bit by bit over the
It looks really
years.
good.
I appreciate it, man. So Shopify is, they're not the cheapest service, but they are the most user friendly by far.
Gotcha.
Um, so they've been, it, it's nice utilizing them just because they're super easy.
Yeah.
Um,
How did you come up with Take One and this logo?
so funny story, my buddy and I, my best friend who I was talking about earlier, we were thinking of a name. We're like, man, what the hell, what the hell should we call this thing? And I'm not sure if you're, tuned into rap or anything, but there's a rapper named Kodak Black, and a song came on by
I
him
think
called
I've heard
Take
him.
One.
Okay.
Yeah, the song's called Take One. And my buddy was like, how about Take One? And I was like, you know what? I don't hate it. I don't hate it. And he went through an artist phase at the time, and he sketched that up really quick, and I was like, that's actually a really cool logo.
It is.
So yeah, that's honestly where it came from.
I love it, man. Yeah, and the logo is crisp, it's clean, and it's easy to recognize.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what you want. with your logo. Yeah,
definitely.
that
So
looks good, man. So so when you started out, when you first started, you built the website right away. So you had like 5 products on here or something?
pretty much that's what it sounded like. Oh my God, yeah, it was
So
bad.
now you have how many? I mean, how many items you have on here, bro?
Oh my God, a
What's
lot.
what's your what's your most popular thing on here that's probably sells the most or whatever?
Still probably high kappas
Okay.
and those related products. Um, so
Ooh,
we
your
only,
website is really fast too. Holy cow, dude. That's
yeah.
awesome.
So we only stock Tokyo Marui high kappas,
Gotcha.
just because they're, in my humble opinion, any other high kappa is it's
It's a
just cheap.
knockoff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's cheap. And all the aftermarket parts, that I was, because that was what I was. I was a high kappa specific store.
Right.
And all high kappa aftermarket parts are tailored to Tokyo Marui's.
Hmm.
So, um,
That's true. Yeah.
so that was really why we did that.
They're kind of like the standard.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. So, like, if you just click on the actual high kappa tab on shop by category, oh, yeah, or catalog, yeah. So when you click on catalog, it'll show up all of our
Oh, shop
products.
by category. If I just
Yep.
click on this. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Gotcha.
So
Um,
oh, maybe I lied to you. Okay. But yeah, so we have just about anything and everything
it's
under the
clicking
sun.
like it's a button, but it's not. I don't know why it's not taking me somewhere.
Okay. I'll need to look into that then.
Let's see. Collections.
But
So the address says it's going to take me to collection/all, but it's not. Yeah,
so
let's
it
go
didn't.
this way.
All right. Well, so this is kind of a mumbo jumbo. Oh wow, look at that. I got to update some of this stuff. I haven't, I
See, this
haven't
is
been on
good,
this.
man. We do this, okay? This
Yeah,
happened
right.
actually recently on another podcast I did, and the guy was like, "Oh shit, I got to fix that link."
Yeah, yeah. I haven't been on this side of it in so long.
Oh yeah, right. Oh, I know. I've
But
been there.
So high kappas and AAPO1s are really big as well for us. Um,
Okay, that one works.
yeah, there we go. So that's what the high kappa one was supposed to do.
Gotcha.
So we sell a ton of like the the firing pin lock right up there at the top. Oh my God. I mean, those, we sell boatloads of those.
Is this the thing that broke? Or no, it was the hammer right here.
The hammers go pretty quick on AAPs.
So I wonder, did they fix that? I thought I saw something last year that they came out.
Allegedly,
Oh,
allegedly.
okay.
They are.
They posted that they got a different supplier or something, right? And for those particular items in their gun, and that it wouldn't break as easily.
So out of the box Action Army, they are better than what they were,
Okay.
100%.
Okay.
But if
Because they were
you're,
breaking on like the first magazine.
oh yeah, yeah, they
Uh-huh.
were really bad their first version. But if you run HPA through your AAPO1, I always recommend to get a stainless steel hammer.
Yep.
They will, I mean it. At the end of the day, those hammers, I mean, they're $99 pistols, right?
Yep.
Um, so
Right. I know.
those hammers will get chewed up by HPA. Normal green gas, I haven't had a hammer break on me since that first um, edition of the
Okay.
AA ones off green gas.
Gotcha.
But HPA, I mean, if you're putting a ton of rounds through it at a high pressure, yeah, it'll chew up your hammers for sure.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah, we had one break on our review video we were doing.
oh,
Yeah, and it was a borrowed gun. It was one of the guys that's local to us that's been watching our channel forever. You know, this is back before we started doing podcasts and before we were doing unboxings and reviews. That's how our channel started. And so he brought up, and it was HPA actually. But
yeah.
yeah, we started he's like, yeah, you can. He gave it to us. He's in the video. And then later, like another day later, we tested it and it broke on our second burst. So we went and then it sticks because
Yeah.
the hammer broke and then it just kept going, on its own. We had to take the mag out,
Sounds
and
about right.
I was like, oh shit, okay. I
Yeah.
said, sorry, Todd, we broke your shit, man.
But yeah, so and then now we recently added pyro. So we carry
Okay.
tagging products. Um,
Whoa.
so those right down under pre-builds under shop by category. Yep. Down below right there. Yep.
Okay.
So that stuff has been flying off the shelf. I mean, look, as you can see, like with our flashbang pre-order, we sold out on the pre-order.
Yeah.
Um, so this was a whole process. Oh my God. I had
Yeah,
to get,
because the ATF paperwork bullshit now.
yeah, pretty much. I mean, I
Mm-hmm.
had to get special hazardous material handling
Yep.
certifications. I had to get special, a bigger business insurance plan. Um, in hindsight, was it worth it? Probably not, but I'm too, I'm pretty far in now. So
Well, let me ask you something. Have you heard of Cherub Milsim?
no.
Okay. So I that podcast um, comes out next Monday.
Hmm.
I'm going to put you in touch with Jax,
Okay.
JAX. He's a guy that's been heavily involved in milsims for a lot of years. He has
Yep.
him and his team have a really iconic, badass looking technical that they take to their events. He's been involved in airsoft for a very long time. He's up in North Carolina, not far from you.
Hmm.
He just started a new company called Cherub Milsim to make these kind of pyro that's safe and reusable if you want, but they're cheap as well. So and
Okay.
they look awesome. Okay, so he goes through on this podcast. He goes through the whole gamut of what he created, why, and what they've been testing this stuff for like 2 years now. Okay,
Right.
before they
Right.
brought it to market, and so him and his guys, he runs with or he's close with Sal from Third Coast Airsoft,
Yep.
and Sal has tested some of these things as well. So what he did, the reason he started it, and the reason I'm telling you about it, when Tag-In was banned, okay,
Hmm.
because the Russia-Ukraine war,
Yep.
you couldn't get any of that stuff. They were looking for pyro, and there
Hmm.
was a lot of restrictions on, like out in California, you can't have certain flash like smoke grenades, that anything that sparks, okay, anything that could start a fire because it's a fire hazard out there, and that's nothing new. I was stationed in California at Pendleton in Southern Cal in like 1991 and 92, and it was a fire hazard then. We would shoot on the shoot. I worked on a shooting range, and they would light that shit up all the time. We had fire trucks out there at the end of the range. Okay,
Oh, no kidding.
I'm not
Wow.
shitting. Like every day there was a fire, and to stop a statewide fire,
Yeah.
they would have fire trucks out, water trucks out there, and but anyway, so it's been an issue. And so a lot of the different pyros for airsoft have been an issue. And Cherub Milsim came up with a really awesome solution, man. Shit glows in the dark, really cool bangs, loud bangs. Like it's pretty cool. So I'll put you in touch with him
Yeah,
if
please
you
do.
want to offer some of that stuff, as an option.
Yeah, definitely. So,
Mhm.
yeah, so tagging, don't get me wrong. I mean, the stuff flies off the shelf and all the customers are really happy with it.
Yep.
And now that more inventory from them is starting to trickle in, it was really hard to get at first. But
Sure.
now, suppliers are starting to catch up a bit with the demand. Um, I mean, I love them.
Oh, we do too.
I'll go to a mill sim and I'll have to kind of tell myself like, all right, JT, you got to quit throwing so many of these things. I mean, people will be 100 meters away, and I'm like, all right, I can Tom Brady this thing.
Uh
No way, gets nowhere close to it. But
Yeah, they
yeah,
are popular. They're awesome. We tested one out. We tested the launcher out,
yep,
the actual tag and launcher that mounts underneath,
yep,
like your M16 or whatever, or M4. And so we tested that out. We tested, the guy that sent it to us was a follower of our channel, and he was up in Massachusetts, I think. And he sent us 2 dummy rounds right here.
yep,
Okay. And then you don't have them listed on here, but basically like these, but they were Reaper rounds,
yep,
and exploding, and
yep. Those are still, we're still fighting with the ATF over.
yeah, exactly. So we took this one, and we were 150 feet away from this tarp that we set up by the shed that we have in our backyard. And
Yep,
my boys, I didn't know shit about tag-ins. My boys were telling me about it before we started shooting. I'm filming this whole thing, and I'm like, there's no way it shoots that hard. It's not going to shoot that far.
right,
And they're like, no, it'll go through that tarp. I'm like, no, it won't. Just we're back far enough, okay? So he shot it, and I have 2 cameras set up. One I'm holding for him shooting, and one is facing me and the guys. And you see my face when it goes off, and I was like, oh shit, okay. I didn't know it would shoot that hard. So
right.
it goes through the tarp and into the kudzu, like into the woods, gone forever. Okay. So we lost one of the dummy rounds. It's still out there. And this is, 3 years ago.
Right.
But anyway, the next one we shot, it hit our shed and put a huge ass dent in the side of the shed. So we went over to, cause it's like aluminum sided, and we went over to it, and I have it it's in the video. We moved the tarp out of the way, and you could see this giant dent. And I was like, they allow this on the airsoft field? Like, what if somebody gets hit in the side of the face with this shit, man? Holy hell.
Right.
It was awesome, man. And we shot the Reaper rounds, and the explosion from them was badass.
So what I'm grabbing right now is, right now I'm working on a project.
Okay.
I took my first prototype, the prototype that I did have, out to a milsim with me, and I made, this is kind of a knockoff that I did. It's a gold rear to an AT4 that we 3D printed.
Nice.
Here's a more legit looking model. This is the front half.
Yep.
And so it assembles into an AT4, and it fires. It has the we use a tag in 40 millimeter shell.
Yeah.
And you put it together, and then you can launch it like a shoulder, like an AT4.
Yep.
And so we went out to a milsim event, and I had the chalk rounds in it because you still can't get the pyro 40 mils yet.
Okay.
But and smacked the pickup truck with it, big pink cloud.
Oh yeah.
Covered them all. Oh my god, it was so much fun.
That's awesome.
So, yeah. But and we're actually right now I'm working with a company, a guy called Tactical Walrus, funnily enough. And he's working on, right now we have a tag-in mortar system.
Ooh, nice.
And so Tag-in makes their own mortar.
Okay.
But yeah, I think it's like $3,000. It's something ridiculous.
What?
Yeah.
Bro.
Yeah. But I mean,
I'm sure it's awesome.
It's freaking legit. I won't lie.
Because their launcher that we used is freaking awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. So don't get me wrong, their stuff is awesome. But right now we have a mortar system that we have together, and it'll launch the Tag-in projectiles about 150 meters. And it'll drop them too. I mean, you get a good solid arc on it and everything.
What?
So right now so he was actually at the event. He's based out of I think DFW as well.
Okay.
Texas. And but he has family located right by me up here in Virginia. So he flew up, came out to the event, and we were showing off the mortar system to people.
Yeah.
and we were hitting the building behind us. It was going so far,
Dude.
and that's a city, building. So I was like, oh,
Oh shit.
we don't want to piss those guys off.
Somebody in black suits will be knocking on your door, bro.
Right? No kidding. So if any of your viewers are big into tag-ins or big in the milsim community, keep an eye out on that. It's a functional mortar system.
Yeah, I'm looking it up right now because I want to see some pictures on it because
The tag-in one.
yeah.
Yeah, it's they have a really good YouTube video. I mean, and they even, if I remember correctly, they even have like timed projectiles that you can use in this thing. So you take like a protractor and everything, and you can plot on your map. You can say, all right,
What?
guy is 120 meters away. I want for it to. I think that
Get out of here.
I might be lying, but if I remember correctly,
That's
you can
awesome.
make them freaking airburst.
Oh shit.
Yeah,
Now that would be badass to have.
yeah. I'm like 90% sure. If it's been a while since I watched the video.
Okay.
Um,
Exclusive mortar or exclusive footage of the tag and mortar. This is from Gun Gamers channel.
So
hold on a second.
yeah.
Let me share this.
So tagging themselves, they also did their own video on their channel. That's really yeah. They go really in depth, and it's really cool.
I'll have to look at it. Okay, we'll have to see. Yeah, so I was looking at. I just searched tag and mortar. And
Yeah,
I didn't see.
I think it's that. It might be
tag in
with the big tag in logo on it.
Is that well? So this is called Airsoft Pyrotechnics.
Yeah, I'm
is
pretty
that
sure.
their?
Yeah, I think that's them.
Is that them?
Yeah, I can tell you in the first.
So this is
this is a video.
Okay, let's check this out.
The Dominus
I mean,
mortar.
you see the map he has,
something
or
like
the grid that the
120
guy
meters from here,
walking down has.
and you will see all the procedure of managing fire. First of all, we have to find a point to receive a point from the forward observer, and
looks like he's got a
drone. Computer. We will use the Garmin computers, the GPS, to make our lives easier. And the second thing, we don't have a local map for the moment.
Is the 5605294. Next.
So they're going through some plotting right now.
Set.
Yep.
I want to see this thing launch.
The middle, actually, it is our
229.
7
Oh, look at that.
degrees is our
so they can line it up with an app on their phone.
Yep.
156 meters.
I mean,
and
this
the
is like
we can see here
I'm
on
having
the saddle.
flashbacks, bro. Okay.
I mean,
The Dominus has two modes of fire.
I kind of understand it's so expensive, right? But
oh, for sure. Look at this thing. This is all machined. All of these are machined. They look like machined aluminum parts.
Yep.
Very probably some pretty tight tolerances, so that there's no slop and all this stuff, right? I mean, dude, they're well-made things. Like the launcher that we had was solid. I mean, solid, bro. Everything that worked on it, the little latches, when it closed, when you opened the tube, the spring in it was good, right? It popped open. It was really snappy. Like when you closed it, the latch that held it snapped really tight. Okay. Everything was really crisp and fit well. There was no slop in anything, right? It was not janky at all. I mean, this thing was professionally made,
Yeah.
high tech, and very professional machinists made this thing. I know they, it's CNC'd, but people have to know what they're doing when they run a CNC.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. So
the low distance
these
and
things
high
there's
distance,
some
you can
time
see
and
it here in the
effort
saddle. You
put
see
into this. And
dimensions
the thing
here.
is, when
It is
you
for
get something
charging
like this,
the
it's going to work
hull
right.
and the exceeded gases. Regular way, it's a HP tank. Now,
All right. So that's the HPA part.
Mark, I'm just pulling the trigger, and Dasha, she is bringing the mines.
So look at these mortars.
Yep.
We will shoot 156 meters just out of these trees. You will see where the mine hit. And then we will use the explosives to hit our targets.
Okay, so he's probably going to use like a dummy round
ready to fire
to make sure he's on target.
Yep. So he has a marking one, and then
it makes sense.
Splash. Now we're waiting for the corrections.
I wish they would have put in the other guys, the guy that's receiving this.
Yeah.
I wish they would have put that
50 meters.
in the video, because you're not seeing the splash.
Okay, when standing on bipod, we can correct on 95. Drop spoke as well, because now we pretty much fine-tuning our calculation.
Yeah, let's go to this one and see if they show it.
This may look like your favorite childhood crispy treat, and with delicious flavor.
I'm more than glad to represent you the new item made by Tagin. This is a copy of M224A1 mortar, 60mm one. It is shooting for something like 300 meters. 1, 2, 3.
Oh wow.
4.
Oh man, he's launching them like just in a row.
5.
These are all smoked.
Pretty much in the same spot.
It's a tight group.
7.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I did not know that they had a mortar out. Well, I didn't see it on their website. That was the weird thing.
Yeah. But anyway, so that was, I guess, back to how we got into tagging. So I really wanted to start branching out from only high kappas and AAPO1s, and more so into a larger demographic.
Right.
And that was why I got tag-ins, because once they got approved, I'm now one of a handful of companies in the U.S. that actually ships pyro. Not many companies do. Most of them just have them in the store.
Well, they'll show up. They'll buy a bunch of them and be at the event and have them at the event.
Right.
But to actually sell them on their website, yeah, they don't do that. Yeah.
So this was kind of like, hey, mill simmers, I'm here. Kind of knocking on their door.
Yep.
And now with the arena, now that I stock, AEGs and rifles and a lot of other stuff, I'm trying to cast a wider net. And
yeah, so you've got different. So you partnered with all the like Monk Customs. I'm actually doing a podcast with Monk here in the next couple of weeks.
Oh, nice. Yeah, so these are all brands that I carry.
Yeah. Nice, dude.
Yep.
A lot of these I recognize. Obviously, Action Army, the big manufacturer names or whatever, but some of the local stuff like Hefe's Airsoft, okay?
Yep.
HK Army, dude, I love their Instagram, bro. They have some of the best. I know it's not Airsoft, but best paintball short videos.
Yeah. They have a great marketing team.
They really do. Yeah. JL, I'm not familiar with them. Keystone.
Yeah. So they're actually from PA.
Okay.
So, and as much as I can, I try to also help out, smaller companies as well.
Yeah.
Kind of help them get their foot in the door. Like all of our Take One Airsoft merch, it's all made within the community. I don't go and get my shirts made in China. I have like CSL Airsoft, the shirt that I'm wearing right now. These are our staff shirts. He made those for us.
Nice.
Our windbreakers are made by Kill House Customs. Our like retail t-shirts are made by Kill House Customs.
What?
Our beanies are made by Ginger Matt, who is the same guy that makes all of the slaughter patches.
Oh yeah.
So I really try to keep any and everything within the community.
Right.
But yeah, so this is just some pretty basic info for the arena.
Right.
This is our newest tab, so we're still working on clearing that up. We want to get the safety video on that one as well.
Sure.
But
yeah, I love the website, man. It's very clean and neat and easy to follow. It's not confusing.
Yeah, looking at it from this side, I'm kind of like, we could probably clean this up and that up, make it a little bit more. But
yeah, you know what I like is that these things are so fast, man. I'm telling you, like there's no delay. Because I'm going to tell you the problem with these when you hover and it automatically opens a drop down. Some websites, when you do that, there's a delay, and it might be a quarter of a second. Okay.
Yeah.
But it's long enough to where it makes most of us who are used to navigating websites, whatever, it makes us think that we have to click it. Like it's a clickable.
Right.
And so then you click it and it takes you off of this page and it gets rid of this menu. And I'm like, shit, I was trying to, what the hell? Like,
right.
So, I know that you didn't program that in, but it's good that, I'm just critiquing it. That's all. It's great, man.
That's that's a big reason why I love Shopify. And we use Shopify as our POS system as well in the store.
Okay.
So it's great because it ties all of our inventory in together. So if somebody buys something in store, it also deducts it from our online inventory. So that way,
right.
Every once in a while we'll have a hiccup where we accidentally oversell something, or I am a dummy and input too much inventory into our system.
Yeah.
That is reflective of what we really have. But the majority of the time, whenever something is bought either online by a customer, and let's say that same day before we get to ship it out, another customer sees it on the wall and is like, oh, I want that. So staff pulls it, scans it, shows out of stock. And they're like, oh, okay, we know that has, that's been picked up by somebody.
I was just going to ask you about that. Like, how do you navigate between your online, so your website, what your website is showing for inventory and what's scanned in the store in person?
Yeah.
Is that connected?
Yep. So those are both connected.
Dude, that's awesome.
Yeah, it is awesome, but it unfortunately creates a lot of inefficiencies when we're packing orders.
Gotcha.
Because we have a big inventory room that we keep the vast majority of our inventory in. And so let's say that we're picking and packing an order, and there's 8 items on the order, 6 of which we're able to pull from the inventory room, from our stocking bins and whatnot. But then we're like, oh crap, I think that these last 2 items are up front. So then we got to leave the inventory room, walk up to the showroom and pull them.
Yeah.
So, it makes the picking and packing process a little bit longer.
Yeah.
But I also want for our online customers to have access to everything that in-store customers would as well.
You would actually have to separate.
Yeah, I would. And
like, which one's more work? Just walking up to the front to get the other one to fill the order, or revamping, like adding that whole other section of in-store inventory or online inventory? Like, I don't know which one. I don't know.
I mean,
is it the same amount of work either way? Probably. Who knows?
Yeah. In the long run, probably, but in the short term, definitely just walking up front and grabbing it is definitely easier right now.
Well, you're probably at the point where, with your company and your store, you're probably at the point, or getting close to a point, where you're gonna start streamlining your training process. Yeah. So that way you don't have to be there 100% of the time.
Yeah, definitely.
To do every little task. So you want somebody coming off the street that you hire, that you're good with or whatever, and they start working, that you can show them one time and they understand how it works, and they don't have to it won't mess up the inventory. So you're probably looking at that more than what's easier for you. It's what's easier for this training process, so that you can pass on, because you don't want to be there. You don't want to be on call 24/7, because then you have an anchor to this storefront, and you can never get away. And then it sucks. So, okay.
I got pretty lucky. I have a really good group of guys at the arena and store working there. And they're really dependable. They are really good at what they do, but I'm a lead by example kind of guy.
Yeah.
And I know some of the stuff that we have to do is horrendous. It's just not fun. Either it's tedious, or like when it's time to close up, I'll go in the bathroom, I'll scrub the toilet, I'll go on the field and I'll vacuum up BBs. I'm not
above any task. Yeah,
I'm not above any of it. So and that's, I want to make sure that the guys at the arena know that as well. So for me, I mean, the managers, they know how to do that stuff now. And that's probably really the only guys that really need to know it. There's really not enough need for more people, to spend more time teaching other people how to use it yet.
Right.
But I don't want for the guys to ever feel like I'm a boss. I don't want to be a boss.
Gotcha.
I want to be a leader. And I've had, going back to football, I've had coaches that get in your face and scream and yell. And I've had coaches that, sit down and take the time with you and walk you through the steps, show you the ropes pretty much.
Yeah.
And to me, that's the kind of leader that I want to be.
Gotcha.
But yeah, so
nice, dude.
Let's take one.
Awesome, man. Yeah, this is great, dude. This is you've got I love talking with somebody that is passionate about what they're doing. And that's most people I talk with on here.
Yeah.
I'm in a really unique situation here with interviewing or, meeting new people through this, because everyone I talk to is passionate about what they're doing. Like, this is it's not just their hobby. Like, this is where they made friends. This is where they grew up or cut their teeth on how to, gun safety or whatever, like real basic stuff that are life lessons. And so it's different. It's because almost everyone I'm talking, there's no one on here that I really have to,
motivate.
It's not work.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's awesome, dude. Yeah. I love seeing startup businesses and, mom and pop shops, like just around town and stuff. My wife and I try to stick to, using local stuff. When we buy vegetables or any kind of groceries, there's actually the place we live in Simpsonville, South Carolina. They have one of the local grocery stores has a whole section right when you walk in. that's all local farmer stuff.
Love that. Love that.
Dude, I do too. There's honey, which is,
there you go.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. We have local beekeepers. And so anyway, yeah, just the whole business, small business thing is, I love that part of the community as well.
Yeah. Walmart's always going to be there.
Yeah, for sure.
So those, and I'd rather spend, twice the money if I know that money is going to feed somebody's family.
Yeah.
You go and spend that money at Walmart, you're paying for somebody's yacht.
Isn't that weird to think about? Yeah, right.
For me, obviously, different people have different budgets and accessibility to it too, right? But I think, and I'm probably going to be a little biased because I am a small business owner, but any opportunity that I can get to support either within the airsoft community or outside of it, your dollar always means a lot more at small businesses.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
yeah, man, it's been great talking with you, dude.
Likewise.
Yeah. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what you got coming out over the next year, before the end of the year, and then going into next year. Do you guys have any big plans? What's your goals for, the end of this year or going into next year? Do you have anything big coming up? Any changes or events that you want to promote?
The skirmish system is going to be the newest thing that we're going to be implementing right away. So really excited for that. And we're starting to partner up with local law enforcement to get them into the facility and
for training.
They want to utilize it for training and whatnot. Other than that, no big, because we just had our Take One Takeover is what we called it, our big rebranding event.
Nice.
So we plan to do some sort of event quarterly. We're still bookmarking what our next one is going to be. So probably around November, we'll have something.
Okay.
I'm thinking maybe, and I want to utilize the skirmish system for it. So I've been kind of kicking around maybe like a Rainbow Six Siege themed game night or, something like that. Right. So you can do, and because you can utilize the skirmish systems to do so many cool different objectives, you can really get creative with the kind of game modes that you want to run. But, stuff like that. And then I want to do, give back to the community. Like we're going to do Toys for Tots around Christmas time.
Okay.
Bring in a toy and it'll get you, half off of admission or something like that.
Yeah, right.
Stuff like that. So
that's awesome, dude.
Yeah.
Really good. Okay. Well, give everybody a shout out or tell everybody where they can find all your stuff and online and where they can follow you.
Definitely. So Instagram is where we're the most active by far. Take One Airsoft or at Take One Airsoft. On YouTube, also Take One Airsoft. We got a nice camera. We got a pretty consistent media guy now coming by. So we're really going to start pumping out some content coming up. And it's not going to be that, basement trolling videos that I have up there that wasn't the greatest quality, but
hey man, you got to start somewhere.
Exactly. So so YouTube content is going to start picking back up, and then we have a Facebook discussion group, Take One Airsoft Arena.
Okay.
So if you guys are interested, please.
Where is that? I didn't see the link for it on your.
Yeah, that's
link tree.
No, I've been kicking around the link tree idea, but
or you don't have to do a link tree. I don't have a link tree on my Instagram. I just have all these different links. You can add another link. I think you can add a bunch of links to Instagram now. It used to only be like one or two.
Yeah.
But now you can add a bunch.
Okay. The Facebook is pretty good. And then our address is 9508 Center Street, Manassas, Virginia. We're about 40 minutes outside of DC, and we're right in the heart of historic Old Town Manassas, which is really cool. So we got a ton of bars and restaurants right around us. So if anybody's ever in the area around DC, please, pop on in. We're open Wednesday evening, Friday evening, Saturday and Sunday to the public for open play.
Yeah.
So please come on out. And we do have a Discord. I will tell you guys whenever this is posted, probably check back out in a week. Yep. So the looks are deceiving. So on the outside, it's that's DC, that blob in the middle, the concrete jungle right there.
Yeah, right.
So we're pretty much just outside of that.
That's good, man. You're out a little bit away from the traffic and stuff. That's good.
Yeah. Yep. Barely. Oh my God, it's still a madhouse out here.
Are you coming when you when you have to go to work here? Do you have to drive through all this?
So zoom in right around there, up to the right. Okay, so you see Arlington. So right by that big green spot to the right of your cursor, right off the river. Yeah, there's the Pentagon. That's where the Pentagon is.
Oh, so you're right there. Oh God, I forgot about that. Yeah, you said that earlier.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're doomed either way. Okay.
Yeah.
Unless you leave at like 2 a.m, there's probably not traffic, but
yeah, it's about an hour each way for me. Just
okay.
Mileage wise, it's not bad, but to your point, I'm always going down there in the middle of rush hour. So it's a frustrating.
Okay. So what you need to do is start looking for a house over here, bro. Okay.
I know, but I work full time right by where I live, so
right. I know. Oh man.
But
okay. So if anyone, I brought this map up so that anyone that's seeing, they can get a reference point of where it's at. So if you're traveling, a lot of the guys I've had on the podcast and a lot of people I've talked with and met over the last 4 or 5 years in Airsoft like to travel to play Airsoft.
Yeah.
And they'll be looking for other events in different states, somewhere they haven't been before. They want to try out something new. So anyone in Pennsylvania, Maryland, Delaware, New Jersey, like all at New York, this is not that far.
No.
Honestly, because I'm not zoomed out that far. And
it's about 4 hours from New York City. We're maybe 3 from Pittsburgh.
Wow.
About 25 minutes off of 95 and maybe 40 minutes maybe 30 minutes off of 81.
Mm-hmm.
So we're in a pretty good spot. Yeah, so like I said, looks can be deceiving. The picture on Google doesn't really do us much.
Oh, like up here?
Much justice.
Is that the building right there?
Yep. So if you hang a right at this light, yep. So that's our retail upstairs,
nice.
And so there's 2 businesses there. It's the Airsoft arena upstairs, and then a sewing shop is our neighbor.
Wow.
So the arena is the basement, and we have the entire building's basement. So we occupy a little over 75% of the building.
Yeah.
So the arena is much. Whenever people come by, they're like, "Oh my God, I didn't realize how big the arena was."
So once they go downstairs, you're talking about this whole building together.
Yeah, exactly.
So the basement goes all the way through here.
Exactly. So it's 8,000 square feet downstairs.
How much?
8,000 square feet of play.
Whoa.
Yeah. So it's.
Oh, I would not have guessed that.
Yeah. No. So a lot of people are pretty taken back when they go down there. I mean, it's not the biggest in the world. But,
sure. But still, when you walk into this storefront and you see this and you're like, oh, okay, you don't assume that it's going to be attached or, you're going to have all this space.
Exactly.
That's
yep.
cool. Okay.
So,
very cool.
Yep.
Awesome, man. Well, I appreciate you, man. It's been finally I got to meet you, and it's been great talking with you, and great to meet you. I'll have you on again. I mean, we didn't go over everything, but I always have somebody on, or try to, later on, especially when you got something going on like this. I mean, you got a lot going on. There's going to be a lot of changes in the next year.
Definitely. No, we'll definitely have to do this again. We'll need to get you up here to play.
Yeah, absolutely, man. That would be fun. I'll do a podcast in the arena.
Yeah. That'd be awesome.
Well, thank you so much, man. I appreciate you. Shout out again to the sponsor of the podcast, Skirmish and Jackal Tactical, and anyone following our channel. I appreciate you guys that you've been following for so long. Appreciate all the support and all the feedback and all that kind of stuff. So hit the links in the description for Take One that I'll have in the links here, and also for the sponsors. All right, man. Have a good night, buddy.
Yep, you too.